What's good? All right, man. Let's chop it up. Let's chop it up. Barry Hearns, man. What is this fool? Dog, that's a lovely thing to hear this first morning, man. First thing this morning. Catch this dude out here accidentally telling the truth, dog. I know his son ain't happy with that one. Sad but true, dog. Sad but true. What's going on, Gregory? Make sure I see if I hear this. Sad but true, dog. Sad but true. All right, cool. We're here. All right, what's going on, Gregory White in the building, man? What's happening? CB Sports TV, Brothers UK, what's going on, man? Lynn Mad, salute. Lorenzo Bond, what's going on? Eric Monroe, what's going on, man? Gregory White, what's happening? The Boxing Creed, what's going on, man? B&B Boxing. Gregory Hunt, Kurt Carr, what's going on? Oh, yeah, look. King Corleone, hey, Liliana Mormont went out like a G. Hey, dog, that was fun. That was actually like a precursor to how the fight ended. How it ended. A little precursor in the episode. What's going on, Tony Snowflakes? Joshua Ellis, what's going on? Joseph Brown, salute. Harold Jones, what's good? Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens. So salute and please subscribe. Robert Walker, what's going on? Star City J. What's going on, Jose De Jesus? Jay Walk, what's going on? D Dap, what's happening? King Diesel. Watch King Corleone, Chris Cyborg face off LDBC on YouTube. It's up. Check out King Corleone. What's going on, man? Williams, what's going on, William Old School Aren't? I'm chilling, man. I'm just laughing, man, really. What's up to everybody in the chat, man? I'm going to try I got to kind of catch up because I got to make sure we get back on pace today. Because I know that KQKC is going to go on after me, and I don't want to run too much in this time. So everybody, just what's up? Man, thanks for coming back. Yes, man. We're going to talk about that too. Actually, I didn't have time to do my notes. Adawile M, what's good, man? Subscribe to Adawile M. So I'm going to talk about Regis today. He looked great. Regis Prograis looked great. Robert Easter, that was just a fight that I knew was going to turn out like that. I saw Zolani Tete wearing a money hat. Freaky Lee promote promotions. Nah, man. I've heard somebody's mentioned it. I don't watch that. I ain't got time for that dude. But I try to tell you every time. Dog. Wait a couple days. That's what every time some of y'all cats over there in the Eddie Hearn supporting crowd get something going. That's all I say. Wait a couple days. Dog. Maybe they wanted to sign Luis Ortiz to one of them contracts, dog. I heard I'm gonna do a 78. I'm gonna bite 78. I heard that the contract with the offer for Luis Ortiz included his firstborn child to be in servitude, his daughter to be in servitude for the next 15 years after the deal was over, and that's why the promoter turned it down, dog. That's what I heard. Because Eddie Hearn daddy just said what I've been telling y'all forever. Dog, these cats, the reason that I like, what's going on, Edward Santiago? He said it should have, neither of them really like it was a title fight. I'm not sure what that is. Robert Easter Jr., a big waste of talent, just like AB. No, man, it's just an ugly fight, dog. Oh, yeah. God, you guys all over the place in this chat, man. Deion Washington said, I would have bitch slapped Barry Hearn when he said that shit, baby powder and all. Dog, hell yeah, you got to give me my baby powder. I forget what movie that is, man. The Hearn video, it shouldn't get you upset, Kane, because that's what he's telling you the truth. I'm telling you, dude, you know what I'm going to do for real? On my Patreon, I'm going to break down specifically a boxing contract. I'm going to go clause by clause through that mug and show you when I say, first of all, in the video that I did, I don't think it's not a slave contract, right? It's not a slave contract. Oh, yeah, eating crow. I told you the Night King was going to be done in the third. I knew that. But it's called 21st Century Buck Breaking. What it's called this is what I would call it, Gregory White. I call it you're a dependent contractor. You got independent. Hey, ain't no worry, 78. It's all good. It's all good. Y'all do your thing, man. Like I said, dog, I need you, my superior. Like AJ said, I need the superior black race to support me, dog. I need the superior section of our community to support me, dog. So yeah, man, look, I call it a dependent contract. You have an independent contractor, right? Which is you do a deal with somebody one time, dog. You do a deal with them one time, right? You get your deal done. Like I got some people working on my house outside. They're independent contractors. They showed up. They said, okay, this is what I'm going to do. We're going to replace your door. We're going to fix your fence. We're going to do all of that stuff. From the abundance of the heart, the mouth speak it. Huh? So, Fannon, Gary Russell versus Tank, who you picking that fight and why? Tank Davis, because Tank Davis is just bigger, faster. He's going to catch him. And I don't think your boy can bust a grape in a fruit fight. Gary Russell can't punch. I mean, he's got fast hands, but you see how many times he hit Oscar Escandon and Oscar Escandon didn't go nowhere? Now, Escandon might also been on some juicy juice, but, you know. But anyway, man, what I was saying about this was, damn, dog, I'm going to get on Game of Thrones towards the end, I promise. So here's my thing, man. So that's an independent contractor. These guys aren't literally slaves, obviously, because they're getting paid. But they're dependent contractors. They have to contract with that guy every time, right? It's like I could say that this guy who's fixing my lawn is an independent contractor. But if I say you cannot mow any lawn for anybody unless I say that you can do it, I get a cut of every lawn you do. And at the most I got to do is promise you that I'm going to get you 5 lawns to mow a month. But if I don't find them, I can pay you some minimum fee of, $10 per 5 lawns. So if I don't get it to you, I owe you $50 for the month, right? But if I get you them, but then you cannot go and find most lawns to mow yourself. You're a dependent contractor. Or you're because it's not independent, because there's an exclusivity deal to that. You can't be independent and have exclusivity at the same time, right? So, except for you get all the benefits, which means they got to pay all their taxes. You don't have to pay employment taxes on them. Like AJ doesn't have to pay into Social Security. Like Eddie Hearn ain't got to pay into Social Security. He doesn't have to match your 401k. He's got all the benefits of you being an independent contractor, but all the benefits of you being his employee. And it's a complete and utter sham. It's a complete and utter sham, and the shit should be fucking illegal if you ask me. You can never get away with that, dog. Very, very hard to get away with that, dog, because you got right to work clauses. Like in Illinois, you can't even do that because people got the right to work. They're like, nah, man, if this contract doesn't work right, this guy gets to leave because he has the right to work. But they won't even do that in those. It's completely jacked. It's completely jacked. Albert is, hey, mate, Tyson Fury versus Usyk. Who do you pick to win that fight? Tyson Fury. Usyk's just going to get jabbed all day from a distance. The Game of Thrones was tripping last night. Yeah, man, that was a great episode. Any powder slap for how high the Moby? What is this? Sounds almost as bad as Wrestling Man. It's terrible. I'm telling you, dog, it's terrible. So when he said that, listen to my thing for you UK Anthony Joshua fans, and I owe an apology to certain UK cats because some people were kind of insulted. I don't know if they were insulted, but they pointed out that not all UK fans of the channels are jackasses. So I'm trying my, if I say that, I definitely don't mean all cats. Dark Truth is my dude. You know, there's a bunch of cats from the UK that come here that I think are really good folk. But you excuse making Eddie Hearn fans. You Eddie Hearn fans, dog, that's something else, dude. You got Barry Hearn saying, and I can't wait to see if the same people that came to my comment section about my Luis Ortiz deal is going to come and say anything about what Barry Hearn said. Because we've been saying they had slave labor contracts. Been saying it. But do you think they're going to come and apologize? Oh, you're just shame on you. I had some guy come to the channel that basically said, damn, y'all gonna make me do a Game of Thrones? Y'all gonna try to make me do a Game of Thrones video? This is all Wilder is the mountain of boxing. Don't say that because he's gonna wind up getting killed. Don't say that because the mountain ain't gonna make it. He need to be the Jon Snow. Jon Snow is the shit. That's the luckiest mug in the face of this earth. St. Cruz said, hard to believe Barry Hearn said that to White's face. He'd have to hold Deontay back. See, this is the thing, dog. When you get old, you tell the truth. You know the deal. When you get old, you tell the truth. And plus, that nigga might have been sipping on something. I don't even know what time of day that thing was. Maybe he was sipping on something. He's talking out the side. He's talking out the side of his neck. But what he said is fundamentally true. It's fundamentally true. And that's what Al Heyman with that advisory, because I've read the agreement for Al Heyman's advisory. Damn, y'all killing me with this Game of Thrones talk. Damn, all right, I'm going to do a Game of Thrones live stream today. All right. And it's 12:45. At 2 o'clock, I'm going to do, after I get my other work done for my real job, I'm going to do some Game of Thrones stuff, okay? For now, no Game of Thrones talk of you didn't watch it yet. Of course I watched it. Or who didn't? Some of us didn't watch it yet. Okay. All right, cool. I'll leave that alone. Easter Bunny didn't really fight. Yeah, I'll do a Game of Thrones live stream at like 3 o'clock so people can get the shit off their chest. Arya Stark makes more. Oh, wait, look, I can't do it. I'm not gonna do it. For now, do you think Robert Easter need another trainer? That last fight was hard to watch. I'm a guy that loves the sweet science. No, dude, Ramses Bartholomew's just shit. Ramses Bartholomew's just crap. And honestly, man, Ramsey Bartholomew was the problem with the fight, man. Ramsey Bartholomew, it was the reason for that fight. Ramsey Bartholomew, that style was terrible. He immediately, first of all, he fought southpaw the whole fight so Titus was trying to keep anything from happening the whole fight. The only guy that pushed the action was Robert Easter Jr. You know, it's just what it is, man. And it was a crappy matchmake. But at the same time, dog, that tells you that they making fighters because they making fights because Ramses Bartholomew deserved that shot at that WBA eliminator belt or whatever it is as a former champion, right? The former lightweight champion, or he's a former 140-pound champion. Same thing with Robert Easter Jr. Robert Easter deserved that shot. So that's an example of the fighters that two fighters that deserve that shot fighting. And it might not have looked good for fans, but it's a case of, it is what it is. Oh, you yank soft, I get backbone. What? Dog, nigga, you ain't, man, please, you ain't getting no loving from a real chick, let alone, oh, it's you. Hey, man. Hey, Bilal J, let me tell you something, dude. You're a fucking hypocrite. You're a hypocrite, and you are you're a phony. Okay? I'm not doing that. You just use the word of God. May God be with you. While you're insulting me, you think people don't understand passive-aggressive insults? And you use the name of God for your passive-aggressive insult? You're saying that I can't do anything that's negative, but you're being negative when you say it? Look, man, I'm not falling for that, man. Okay? You can be a passive-aggressive hater, you're still hating. Okay? That's being like, that's very, very female of you, right? That's what they do. Some females will just tell you straight to their face what they think, but you don't. You try to hide behind the name of God like I'm not going to call you out on that. May God guide your path. How dare you say something negative? You're just trying to find something negative about Barry Hearn when he said he has slave contracts. So if there's open market slavery in Syria, I'm a hater because an anti-God because, and I need God's guidance because I pointed out, you're a hypocrite, man. You're a hypocrite. You're a phony. And that's why cats stay away from the church because 95% of y'all are phonies. 95% of you are phonies, okay? 5% of y'all are real, really talking about what it's all about and being honest with you. The vast majority of y'all are phonies, okay? Vast majority of you are phonies. And you're a phony because you literally are doing the same thing you're accusing me of, but you think if you soft pedal it, then it's not going to be seen for what it is. The end of the result is the same thing. You just insulted me. You're telling me that I'm being negative, but you insulted me. I didn't go to your channel. You came to mine and insulted me, but I'm the one that's negative. So it's okay for you to be negative towards me, but it's not okay for me to critique somebody else. That's what you call being a hypocrite. You're doing one thing and saying another. You can critique somebody you ain't never met me and judge me, but I can't say anything about something that came out of the mouth of Barry Hearns. And you use God's name to do it. That's why that's why so few people believe you when you do that. That's what you say, taking the Lord's name in vain. You're taking the Lord's name in vain. And I'm talking about the comments you left. So shame on you, bum. You're bum. Straight up. That's why so many people walk away from clowns like you. Hypocritical, phony ass clowns like you. You think because you put a smile on your face, you can steal. When somebody sticks a gun in their face and steals, they go to jail. But I don't know what happened. The money just wound up in my account. Praise the Lord. Fuck out of here, man. Anyway, hey, Sean Snowden said, I'm still high from last night. Gotta love Game of Thrones. It was fire, dog. Lauren Bivell, man, much love in the super chat. 78, man, much love in the super chat. What up, and what's going on, Super Gang? You phony. By the way, you're phony. And that's why I'm telling you, y'all love the truth. Y'all love the truth, right? When Victor Ortiz's manager came out and said that Eddie Hearn really made an offer to them, and I'm like, oh man, why would you even say that, dude? You're supposed to be protecting the interests of your fighter. It's your job as a manager is to protect the interests of your fighter. But now you've thrown the promoter under the bus. You've made premier boxing champions look crazy in my eyes because I know how that's going to be taken and what arguments going to be made by their competitors, right? These people were feeding your fighter. You isolate your fighter from the people that are feeding him. Eddie Hearn used to manage Luis Ortiz, but now you're all like, we really want to sign with Eddie. We really wanted to sign that contract Eddie gave us. This promoter and all this stuff they got going on with the PBC. That's why we didn't do it. And it was I was so sorry that I said it was $2 million. It was really $5 million because I didn't know, and I take responsibility. But that's what the promoter did. The promoter was just asking for too much money, and we please all that crap that he was doing. I point out that isn't even helpful to Luis Ortiz, right? And what was the response to that from y'all, from many of y'all? The response was, Fannon's trying to hide the truth. You don't want the truth to come out, right? That's what it was. Oh, you want the truth to come out. I don't mind the truth coming out, but just as long as you know that don't have Jay Jimenez managing you, because do you want all your truth out? So let's talk about the truth. How about if we just say, I know person X filed his taxes and he said that he had only earned, he's a tennis coach and he said he only earned $30,000, but let the truth be known. I'm his accountant. He's got $50,000 in cash that he got for lessons and he put it in a different bank account. So I'm his accountant. It's my, I know it's my responsibility, right, to do his taxes, but hey, man, I have to tell you, I went out of my way to find this stuff. Just to let you know. So when you get him for tax evasion, hey, man, come on, man. No, Are you going to hire that attorney? I mean, you're gonna hire that accountant? No, you're not. You're not going to do that you're not going to hire that accountant, right? That's why you don't hire Jay Jimenez. Now, Barry Hearn, who is the chairman of the board for Matchroom, said that they had slave contracts and that this thing with Dillian White isn't one. Because what is it? It's a fight-by-fight deal. How many of those Matchroom fighters are on fight-by-fight deals? Anthony Joshua's not on a fight-by-fight deal. He's on a multiple fight deal. Isn't he? Isn't he? He is. That's what you brag about. How he's going to get $100 million over the next 3 years. He signed a long-term deal. The exact opposite of what Dillian White did. So, if not being a slave contract is a fight-by-fight contract, and not having a fight-by-fight contract is a slave contract, then Anthony Joshua has a multi-by-fight deal, not a fight-by-fight deal. What does that make Anthony Joshua's contract? That's right. It makes it a slave. By the definition of the chairman of the board for Matchroom, it makes Anthony Joshua's contract a slave contract. I wouldn't call it a slave contract, because I know dang well if you get paid, you're not a slave. But it is a dependent contractor, which means that it is basically fight by fight for Matchroom. More than likely, it's fight by fight for Matchroom. But it is a long-term deal for Anthony Joshua, because they have minimums associated with him. And if they don't want him to take a fight, they can just pay him the minimum. But you'd have to actually be able to read the agreements or take the time to read them to understand that. But y'all don't. But hey, the truth. Now what am I? I'm an enemy of God, right? I'm an enemy of God because I tell you that. I read David Benavidez's contract. David Benavidez's contract reads where David Benavidez can get dumped if he loses a fight. But if he wins a championship, his contract gets extended for 3 years or 2 years, whatever it was. How does that work? And he's got minimums. I'm like, minimums? So he's got 12, 8, 10 round minimums, right? 10 round minimums, no minimum for a championship fight, right? So if that promoter didn't want him to take a fight, he wanted to take a fight, but that promoter didn't want the fight, all that promoter's got to do is pay him his minimum out of his pocket. And that's it. And Don King even had something in there that said, unless it's not financially feasible for the event, then the mandatories go away, which means Don King could have frozen you out for nothing. But okay, I'm an enemy of God because I tell you that. Okay. You bums. What's good, man? Y'all make me seriously, man. Y'all need to stop, dog. Are you fans of boxing or not? Don Anderson, bad analogy. White is probably going to eventually get beat soon. AJ is 29-year-old and a long-term deal is smart. Shut up, moron. You're a moron. A fight-by-fight deal is better for Anthony Joshua than a long-term deal. Easy. Because that means he can have a bidding war for every fight. He can have a bidding war for every fight. You kidding me? They would have to negotiate a new deal with him every fight. Why is it better for somebody younger to have a long term? That's just security that he doesn't need. It might be better for a young up-and-coming fighter who doesn't have any market presence, who isn't known by anybody, to have that type of deal, because they need a promoter to get them fights. AJ could jump between Eddie Hearn, Top Rank, Luda Bella, Frank Warren. He could jump between all of them every fight if he wanted to. You kidding me? You don't understand what you're talking about. It would be so easy for AJ to be like, look, man, I want 40. Oh, DAZN? Yeah, $40 million for this fight? Yeah, I'll take it. Nah, I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight. I'm not going to take the Derek Chisora fight. No. Well, nope. Eddie here is saying that I can fight Deontay Wilder for $200 million. So I appreciate you offering me this fight, Eddie, but no, I'll see you next fight. I'll be over here this fight. Okay? I'll be over here this fight. And I'm not and Al, I'm not taking it without a rematch clause. Okay? Yeah, no problem. Rematch clause. So rematch clause, right? Great. Are you giving me a rematch? No. Anthony Joshua doesn't need that because Anthony Joshua is already big. Anthony Joshua doesn't need promoting. The situation where somebody would sign a contract like that is like where Terrence Crawford was coming out of the amateurs, where he doesn't have the money to train. He needs the fighter and the manager. He needs the manager and the promoter to provide a trainer, to pay his trainer, to advance the costs on the trainer, to give him training facilities, to give him equipment when he doesn't have the money to do that. Anthony Joshua has enough money to buy all of that. He doesn't need somebody. If he's got his money right, why does he need somebody to negotiate and get trainer sparring partners for him? He can pay the sparring partners himself. Why would he need somebody to do anything for him? He can do it for himself, and he can get a financial guy to check and see how much he's paying for it. You kidding me? AJ would be much better off with a fight-by-fight deal. Much better. Why do you think it is that Floyd Mayweather Jr. left a long-term contract and never got back into one? Because once Floyd Mayweather established his name, he went solo. Oscar De La Hoya went solo. Solo. That in the music thing, it's going solo, right? Why would Anthony Joshua, if he was a singer, want to stay in a group where he's the one selling all the albums? Michael Jackson did it. He was like, hold on. I ain't got to cut none of y'all in because I'm just selling all the albums. Before that, he has to, you know why it's not the Jackson 5? It changed to the Jacksons because Motown owned that name. Then they went to the Jacksons because Motown owned everything. And then he got his own publishing rights. He even left the Jackson 5. And then he started owning all his own publishing rights. He started he paid for everything himself. You guys are more, man, shut up, Dwayne Anderson. Just shut up. Fran Steele, Fannon, trying to say one, if not one of the highest paid boxers in the world is doing it wrong. Results. Dude, he's not the highest paid boxer in the world, man. Are you stupid? He's not. He's not. Canelo Alvarez is. Floyd Mayweather is. This dude does not make one-fifth what Floyd Mayweather Jr. makes. Dude, I'm talking about if you can get all your money. This isn't even about who the highest. So what if he's the highest paid? Do you know why they have the NBA's league has a salary cap for players? Because in a collective bargaining, that means that guys like Kevin Durant can't break the market. Kevin Durant is underpaid for what he does. Stephen Curry is underpaid. LeBron James underpaid. Michael Jordan was underpaid. And in exchange for underpaying them, because it's in a team environment, they raised the minimum wage for everybody else. So that was a deal between the Players Association and the owners. Because the owners don't want a bunch of independent contractors blowing their money. Because they are what people come to see. Anthony Joshua you can say he's not doing anything wrong, but if that was the truth, then why isn't Floyd Mayweather Jr.? Why didn't Floyd Mayweather Jr. stay with Bob Arum? Why didn't Oscar De La Hoya stay with Bob Arum? Why didn't Manny Pacquiao stay with Bob Arum? Why did Muhammad Ali jump from promoter to promoter to promoter? The original dude who was able to sign with whoever he wanted to sign with was Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali wasn't locked down, from what I know, to long-term contracts. He went from, if he wanted to do a fight with Bob Arum, he did one with Bob Arum. If he wanted to do one with the next fight with Don King, he did it with Don King. How do you think that Don King and Bob Arum Both tried to get the George Foreman and Ali fight. If they both had been signed with Don King, they could have just ordered the fight. But think you know what you're talking about, dude. You're clueless. Greg Benson's preach, brother. The scenario is why Crawford will never make the money he should. He should have never re-signed with Top Rank. He should have bet on himself instead of a steady $3.5 million. Much love. But look, here's the thing, man. Gary Benson, much love in the super chat. I want you to think. Oh, yeah, Harold Melvin in the Blue Notes. Teddy Pendergrass jumped ship. But look, here's the thing, man. Once you get into them, you got to be able to get out of them. And when they compile all these costs on you, right? They pile a bunch of costs on you. Then you got to pay all that money's owed to get out. So sometimes it's just like, man, it's just going to be hell to get out. You had Mikey Garcia, who didn't get to fight for 2 years trying to get out of the deal with Bob Arum, right? And he had to pay a bunch of legal fees to do it. It becomes difficult to do that. But look, man, when somebody calls that contract that Anthony Joshua has a slave contract, you need to maybe listen up. And how about this? Barry Hearn had previously said about AJ's fight that AJ gets say-so into who he fights. Say-so. He said say-so. He's an integral part of the decision-making process, is what Barry Hearn said. An integral part. Part last I mean is not whole. Part. He's important. Part of the decision-making process. What are the other parts of the decision-making process? Barry Hearn and Eddie Hearn. Because he said, and it's proved, dog, it's proved off what he said. And I'm not even going to get into the dynamics of what a slave contract, because like I said, it's not slavery because the dude can retire. It's not slavery because he gets paid. But it is a dependent contractor. It is a dependent contractor, and it by its very nature is lopsided in the favor of the promoter. You can say what you want. That's what he said. He said it. So since you want the truth about Luis Ortiz, tell the truth about Matchroom. Like I said, wait 5 days when you AJ protectors, I guess that's the best way to phrase it, and Eddie Hearn supporters jump all over something, wait 2 days. 5 days at the top, and something else is going to come out. What was the contract that they I would love to hear the promoter now, where the promoter's like, look, they offered us a 3-5. That's all Luis Ortiz promoter got to say. They tried to lock us down to a 5-fight deal, and we didn't want to do a 5-fight deal. If I was Luis Ortiz, if I was advising Luis Ortiz's guy, tell people that. Save face. They wanted a 5-fight deal. That's why you shut up, Jay Jimenez, and wait 2 days. You could have covered save face by saying that. They wanted a 5-fight deal. They wanted a 3-fight deal, right? Because you know they weren't going to fight Luis Ortiz without that type of stuff in there. But, you know, who knows? Fannon Fury just winning on Slaves. Yeah. And they're going to fly on it. I told you, wait 4 days with these guys. Wait 4 days. Nope, Luis Ortiz ducked. Maybe he did. Are you happy that that's known? Good. Because if Luis Ortiz ducked, good job. Luis Ortiz ducked. Eddie Hearn's a slave master. Hip, hip, hooray for the truth. And that's his own words, dog. And what did Deontay Wilder say about them? What did Deontay Wilder say about them? He said that these guys are AJ just got some dude doing exactly what Barry Hearn said he's doing. 2 fighters that do not have multi-fight contracts. To fighters that don't have a fight-by-fight basis, contract on a fight-by-fight basis. Just wait a week. They'll hang themselves. Because generally speaking, that is what promoters do. Even the fact that the way that promoters and long-term deals work, just the way you structure the deal from the side of a promoter, you want the guy to fight more fights for less money. And you want them fight, even when they say, we want you fighting 5-6 times a year. I'm thinking, yeah, dog, how do you get people to do that? You don't pay them. You don't pay them enough. That's why fighters fight all the time, because they don't get paid enough. I was reading on the prize fighters when these guys were all really back, interestingly enough, with the type of deals that were made in the 1700s, late 1700s, early 1800s, when there was prize fighting. Basically what happened was the fighters themselves negotiated the fights for themselves. And they got financial backers that would support them. They would say, look, I bet you 50, we put 50, it was a good amount of money for those times too. But just say, we'll use these numbers now. I'm going to put up $100,000. You put up $100,000. Me and you fight. Winner takes that $200,000. And a financial backer, right? The financial backers would put the money up. And then they had a bunch of people doing side bet gambles, and they would sell the tickets. But what those fighters negotiated for themselves, they got. Then they had to, I'm sure, bop off a sum of money for the financial backer. But then they would take long periods of time off. Long periods of time off, dog. They would take a year off, and they would go around the countryside. They would countryside in the UK, and they would do exhibitions, and they would reenact their fights. So it would be similar to today if you just said they own their own rights to the replays. But instead of the replays being on TV, the replays were them actually replaying what happened, going through the motions, so that the crowd could see what actually had happened to the fight, because it wasn't on TV. But it was the fighters themselves that arranged those exhibitions. It was the fight, and that's Jim. What is it? Oh, God, man, I'm killing the guy's name. Tom Melanois, the cat was behind Tom Melanois, Tom Cribb, all those guys that were fighting in that early UK, what was prize fighting, when it was still like bare knuckles. They did it themselves. And they had to negotiate that the fight was going to be at least 50 miles away from London, because they didn't want to get arrested for doing it. The whole boxing in the UK grew off of the independent contractor model. But then once it became legal, now the promoters started funding it. But still, they would only pay fighters for the tickets that the fighters sold themselves for the show. Dog, these fighters were getting rich. Tom Melanois he drank himself, and they would have their own bars. They would take their money that they earned from these things, and they would open a public house. So the people that they would make challenges at the public houses. That's an independent contractor model. That's how boxing started. And these guys like Tom Melanois fucked it off because he was drunk himself to death. But these other guys made a ton of money back then and lived at Sutton, retired. Anyway, that's what's going on, Narco Champion TV, El Bruto. Anyway, man, so that's your history lesson on that. Boxing analytics. What's boxing analytics? I like when cats be hating on me. I do. Because when you eat crow, oh, yeah, whatever. I already covered that. So Don King selling his fighters a $200 bath towel. Yeah, exactly. And that's when you don't have a manager if you're an independent contractor, if you have the ability to do it, then you can have somebody that is managing your finances and making sure that anything that gets spent, that you get to sign, you have to sign off on it being spent. Anything in it, and that's when you have control, you can do that on a fight by fight basis. You can say, okay, I get, as far as the expenses related to this, you can take out pre-approved expenses, right? You can take out expenses as long as the total expenses don't go over X dollars, over $10,000. And any individual expenses over $500, I have to sign off on. There's all kind of ways you can do that when you get to negotiate all the deals, all the aspects of it. A's a Raider. For now, let me ask you a question. If it's a slave contract and Wilder don't want to be tied down to a 3-fight deal and wants to bet on himself, why don't he make AJ a legit offer or send that suspect $11 million? First of all, I don't even know how to answer a question that's that loaded. But I'll break down this thing, and I don't think you're going to like my breakdown, fella. If it's a slave contract and Wilder don't want to be tied, first of all, I didn't say it was a slave contract. I said it's a dependent contractor. So that's that's Barry Hearn's phrasing. That's not my slaves don't get contracts. You don't strike a contract with your chair, okay? Your chattel. Okay, you're chattel. So there is no contract. You're owned. You have no ability to be bound or bind anybody else. You're owned. Okay, your property cannot contract for you. Stupid. But I said it's a dependent contractor. Wilder don't want to be tied down to a 3-fight deal. Okay, he doesn't want to be tied. Okay. First of all, the 3-fight deal, I think you're alluding to the zone, has nothing to do with an AJ offer. That was the zone trying to sign him for 3-fight deals and said that AJ might be one of them. But they wouldn't, but AJ's not signed to the zone, so they can't offer that. So that the zone contract has nothing to do with AJ. Okay. Next. Wants to bet on himself. Why don't he make an AJ a legit offer or rescind that suspect $50 million? I don't know what you mean by legit. He has. He said 50-50. And why doesn't he rescind the suspect 50 million pounds? It wasn't 50 million pounds. It's $50 million. And he turned it down. So the deal's off the table. There you go. He's not going to give him $50 million. AJ ain't worth it. It ain't worth $50 million. He ain't worth $50 million and 50% of the cut. That's why. And a legit offer, he has a legit offer out there. 50-50. There you go. Oh, shit. Hold on one second. Y'all still support Matchroom? Yeah, of course they do, because they don't care. They want them to be slaves. They don't mind it. Eddie confirmed in the interview with Fred that AJ was in the DAZN offer. Man, shut up. AJ can't. I don't believe Eddie Hearn. I don't believe in Eddie Hearn, and I heard it was the other way around. I heard it was that he confirmed. I don't even listen to the video yet. Oh, yeah, it was. So what if Eddie Hearn says that? The first fight on that deal was Breazeale. And if he lost the fight to Breazeale, none of the other fights happened. So it's a 1-fight deal. Just like you guys want, you can't jump. Dude, it's a 1-fight deal. Just like Eddie Hearn got a 2-year contract with DAZN with multiple option years. What they offered, from what I understand, is a Dominic Breazeale fight with options. That's not the same thing. It's saying you got a multi-fight. No, it just means if you win the fight, you're stuck. And then they can dump you if you lose. It's the same thing I told you about David Benavidez's contract. It's an option. They're tying you in to the value of fights in the future in exchange for paying you for 1 fight. But if he lost that 1 fight, then those other things don't materialize. So those are just possibilities. You're just selling a potential. You're offering them the potential of money. You're not offering the actual money, because it's an option. As soon as he loses, you can pull out. That's why I say it's a multi-fight deal it's a multi-fight deal. It's a multi-fight commitment for Deontay Wilder, but it's a 1-fight commitment for them. Fuck out of here. You might as well take a 1 fight and then negotiate your 2 later. Why would you do that? If you're saying, look, I'm gonna give you this amount of money for Dominic Breazeale, but If you beat him, then you fight these next 2 fights for this amount of money. And then somebody else says, look, I'll let you do whatever you want to do. I'll give you, a matter of fact, I'll give you a little less money for Dominic Breazeale. I give you a little less money than they're going to give for Dominic Breazeale, but I'm not going to say that if you beat him, you don't have to do anything. We'll negotiate from the start on the next deal, right? The second deal is a better deal if you beat Dominic Breazeale. If you're in there with somebody that you think there's a 90% chance you're going to beat, you would be better to take the 1-fight deal and then negotiate again between the same 2 parties. If he beats Dominic Breazeale, there's nothing stopping him to go back over there to the zone and say, hey, man, I want X amount. Nah, 40 million ain't cutting it. How about 50? Oh, yeah, we'll give you 50. All right, great. If you can get Anthony Joshua to sign up for this fight, I'll take $50 million for this 1 fight, right? Isn't that better? All he has to do is bet on himself to beat Dominic Breazeale. So let's get this gamble that he's taking. What is he like? What's the odds on this Dominic Breazeale Deontay Wilder fight? Right? 50-1, 60-1, something like that. That's the bet he's taking. He's taking a 60-1 bet. He ain't even taking a risky bet. He's making a good bet. Like if somebody say, man, I'm going to give you that. I'm going to give you 6. It's, that's like betting on Serena. That's like betting on, yeah, I'm going to go into that. But you get the points, man. That's easy. No, it was a 2-fight deal. No, it wasn't a 2-fight deal. If he beat Dominic Breazeale, then if he loses Dominic Breazeale, it's over with. Anyway, that's what was reported. I don't even know what's in the agreement, and neither do you. But anyway, what about the slavery contract? What about the slavery contract? What about that comment? You don't believe Eddie Hearn? You don't believe Barry? Do you not believe Barry? Likely rematch clause as well. Yeah, dog, look, man. I'm just commenting on this. I don't know why they turned down the deal because I didn't read the deal. But I know this. Barry Hearn clearly said he can't believe that has Dillian White fighting on a fight-by-fight deal, and now he's got to call him sir. Because now he's got to listen to what Dillian White says. And he's got to treat him with respect. Unlike the old days when we had people fighting on multiple fight deals and we were slave traders. That's what he said. Okay? That's what he said. It's on video. Okay? With Dillian White looking like, God. Oh, God. Wow, really? Now I got to say that I signed with a slave trader? Really? Even doing independent business with a slave trader is real suspect, okay? Even doing business with one. Oh, yeah, I'm not a slave, but, I do business with him. I do business with the slave trader. Man, he made Dillian White look stupid. He made AJ look stupid. And I'm saying I'm not even taking it. I'm not even taking it like it's not a slave contract. You're a dependent contractor. You're a contractor, which means you're getting paid on a project-by-project basis, but the only person that can give you a project is him. I mean, that's what that is. I mean, that's what it is. And I'm not using hyperbole. That's not a hyperbole. I'm not being vindictive, right? I'm just telling you that's what it is. And when he said it, I thought to myself, I was like, man, how can I talk about what he said in a way that's not slavery? Because it's not. And it's an insult to slaves. Okay? It's an insult to slaves. Because insults a slave be like, hey, yeah, what? You mean this is only last 3 years? Okay, cool. And my kids aren't born into it, right? And I can enter it on my own free will? Nah, dog, that's not slavery. And I'm telling you, to people that listening to this, sign up for the Patreon because I'm going to break down boxing contracts. I'm going through them, okay? I'm going to go through them section by section and prove it to you. It is a dependent contractor agreement. It gives all the benefits of the promoter of dealing with you on a fight by fight basis at minimal cost. That's what minimums mean to me when I read that. Minimal cost, which means that, dude, you realize that some of these guys who can be generating, you can have a fighter that's generating $100 million in an event, and the most money that the promoter is obligated to pay him is $150,000, of which the promoter gets 15% or 20%, and the manager gets 30%. So at the end of the day, for this you're gonna be like TLC. You're gonna be like TLC. Selling multi-million-dollar albums and you ain't getting nothing, dog. You can be driving around in they was driving around in a Yugo? Hey, man, the hustle's real, dog. The hustle's real, okay? The hustle's real. The hustle's real. Man, shut up, Roy Gabriel. You ain't deflecting today, dog. You don't get to deflect. You guys lost, okay? Again, it ain't take but a day. I'll exchange you, Luis Ortiz, turning down an offer from a slave master in exchange for you acknowledging that they just said that they are slave masters. Can you fault? Now I'm looking for you, blood boxing. Can you fault him turning down an offer from an admitted slave from an admitted slave trader? On general, dog, the championship belt ain't worth that. And on top of it, let's not even get into what the championship belts do and how the championship belts literally tie you to that same structure. That belt is intricately involved in that same manipulation of a prize fighter. If they win one, their contract gets extended. And they have to fight whoever is mandated by that sanctioning body that is paid by that promoter. It is completely and utterly a logical situation. It's a logical situation, man. It's a hustle. The championship belts is a hustle. The promotional contracts, a hustle. The multi-fight deals on the network, it's a hustle. You just got to understand, dog, where's your hustle? Where's your hustle? Okay? Okay? And I know it because I do hustles every day. And I'm like, there's people think about these agreements like, oh, this legalese. It's not even legalese. It's just you get focused on your consideration. You go into it with one thing. I'm fighting for money. How much is the money? And they put the money there for you. And the money's real. But you don't understand what the relationship is. Okay? The money is one thing, but there is a relationship. What is the dynamic between what I do every day and what you do every day? Not just the money. It's the relationship. Do we have a two-way relationship? Do we have a one-way? Do we have a reciprocal relationship? Are we both equally sharing the risk? Are we equally sharing the reward? Right? Because there's amount of money, but how much is that money overall? So that's what I'm saying. For a young guy coming up, these deals could work. They could work. Because other than that, if you ain't got your daddy being able to pay for get you driving back and forth, right? Like an amateur, right? Like Errol Spence Jr.'s dad drove him, paid for his equipment, drove him to national events, did all that stuff, put all that money behind him to get him where he is, right? They need that in the pros too. If you got a few guys that come up and then Al Heyman might find and be like, I like him. Now we're going to back him. Right? But once they've gotten that initial investment back, you're cool. Because it's like, look, all right, I had a 3-year deal with you. You fronted me when nobody knew me, and I appreciate that. Now, in year 2, I'm fighting for championships, and you're making a lot of money. So did you get out of that deal what you wanted? Yes, you did. You got your money from those events. You got the reputation of your promotional company. You got me fighting. I fought them. Okay, now it's over. Shake your hand. Now what are we going to do moving forward? Right? Because now I don't need your money. Now I got my money. I got my money. I don't need you to pay my trainer. I don't need you to pay I damn sure don't need you to pay my manager. Okay? I'll pay my manager. You pay me my check. I will pay my manager. I'm not agreeing to you paying my manager. And if my manager don't want me to pay my manager, then my manager can till he hiccup and get the fuck out. Okay? You can do all those type of things, man, when you understand that it's a relationship you're building. And there's parties to that relationship. And it's not just about the money. It's about the relationship. And I don't mean bubbly, warm, bubbly, you love me, I love you relationship. It means how are we going to, who's counting the money? Who's picking the fights, right? If I don't like you, how do I leave? If you don't like me, how do you leave? All that good old stuff, dog. All that good old stuff. But most, when you're 18 years old, you're not paying attention to that. And some people that know that charge you a lot of money to tell you that. And they want a big chunk of that money because they did it, because they're looking for themselves. It's telling you that advisor role is actually pretty decent as I look at it, man. But you guys know better than me. Whatever. Bro, Dillian White has to be the biggest goofy in the black community right now. Barry Hearn make a joke and White just laugh. Oh, dog, nah, he was embarrassed. He's embarrassed. I don't know. I mean, he's embarrassed. He's a bit embarrassed. Anyway, let me go down here, man, to the bottom of this. Oh, Lulu and Profits, that just tells you know who they are, dog. They just want to win, dog. Trolling is deeply engraved in the UK social media culture, in my honest opinion. Hey, man, they are seriously, some of those guys are like, I listened to one the other day, man. I listened to one dude, and I was like, now, yo, if you're from America, you know that I don't have an inner city accent, right? If you can, most people from America, if you listen to me speak, you pretty much know you kind of would get somewhere where what my background is, right? I didn't grow up in Inglewood. I didn't grow up in Inglewood in Chicago. I didn't grow up in inner city Chicago. I didn't grow up in the South. I didn't grow up in New York. I grew up somewhere in the Midwest, and I grew up in a upper middle class, financially speaking, family, right? That's what I sound like. But this guy from UK was trying to impersonate my voice, and he was talking like, yeah, I mean, I can't even do the stupid shit. I was like, man, you so desperate to insult somebody that you don't even realize, man, that there's nothing inner city about me. He put on this, and it's a young black dude, put on this minstrel voice, man. I was like, wow, you guys are bozos, man. And it ain't even fun, and it ain't even funny to boot. You know what I mean? You say you sound Harvard for now. I mean, I'm just saying, hey, yeah, I will be in May. I will be in May. I'm waiting for it to start, dog. I got my Harvard. I told y'all, I got my Harvard business class that starts 1 month from tomorrow. And then I will be a big baller once I get through with my cohort. My cohort starts on May 28th, and I will be fancy talking after that. When it's done, I get to fancy talk. Because then I will use all my fancy Harvard negotiation talk on y'all. You know what I mean? Anyway, dog, but y'all need to get real with it, dude. Boxing techniques, whatever. You guys trying to. Wilder asked the zone for Eddie Hearn not to be involved. He got asked for the fight. Dog, you don't know what he asked for. Shut up. He ain't talking. How do you know? You're just gonna make stuff up. You don't know what he said. I tell you what I know. I know what I know. Eddie Hearn's daddy said that they're slave traders. That's what I know. I know that. Okay? You talking about what you think, what you heard from somebody out of somebody else's mouth and some yang yang yang. I know what I heard. Did anybody else hear that? I just wondered, did anybody else hear that when he said that? Like I said, wait a couple days, dog. Wait a couple days. Let me check the super chats, dog. Let me. I got this up on 2 channels. Yeah, I do. Hey, man, join the Patreon too, because I'll teach y'all all this shit in the Patreon. But I just got to know, how was this? I'll open 2 streams. Okay. Yeah. I'll teach all y'all this. Now, I'm not going to practice law. I will give you information. But if you join, if you join the Patreon, I will teach you this. I'll teach you. You can have all kind of fun. All kind of fun. Because it's fun. Once you get past a certain understand, Shelly Finkel said it. Oh, yeah, sure, Shelly did. I don't care. Sure, he did. I didn't hear it. Who cares? He admitted he's a slave trader. What do I care? He's done. Okay, he's done. His reputation is done. That is never going to disappear, dog. That's never going to disappear. Okay? He said that the matchroom contracts that are not fight-by-fight basis are slave contracts, and he gets to say and tell the boxer to do whatever he wants. And he ain't even got to call him sir. He probably want to call him boy. Okay? Stop. You lose. Stop. Stop. You're done. You're done. In America, you're done. Okay? You're done. Nobody's buying that. When he came over here to talk, because that's on top of Eddie saying his transatlantic deal. Eddie Hearn started with the transatlantic deal he was trying to run, and his daddy was a slave trader by admission. What are you going to do with that? What are you going to do with that? You can't go anywhere. You have nowhere to go, okay? And if you act like you got somewhere to go, dog, if you act like you got anywhere to go, dude, you're dishonest. Oh, I know, Angry Brit. Dog, it's just, but I love it. Because I respond to comments. I respond to comments, dog. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. Seriously, man, I went through like 300. I responded with like 300 people because I'm man enough to talk to people who, when they got a point. But I'm wondering where cats are going to come on this one, right? All of a sudden, no, you know, whatever, homie. I got to go to the super chat though, man, because I know that I've been. I don't know what that is. I got to catch them later. Video. Oh, not video manager. Hold on a second. And I got to call my daughter. She's going to be going into this meeting with some tennis coach that's recruiting her. And we'll see for our college visit. You trying way too hard. That's what it is. You trying way too hard. Am I? Dog. Y'all are hilarious, boy. Oh, I met Gary Benson. Peace, brother. The scenario is why Crawford will never make money like he should. He should never sign with Top Rank. He should have bet on himself. Yes, sir. And DOG said they're not used to visible black excellence. Man. After all these whoopings these black fighters in the United States be handing out, I would think they were used to it. But it is what it is. You know, y'all do you. Y'all do you. Barry was talking about when he had Eubank in the 90s, but he was always been that. He gets a pass over here because he's his Freemason links. First of all, Boxing British News. I don't see what he was talking about. Don't matter. Because he talked about a multi-fight deal. What deal was he describing? When he was promoting is the same time Don King is promoting. He's promoting at the same time that Bob Arum is promoting. They're the same age. He's the same age as Frank Warren. They're all of the major promoters. Most of the major promoters are still running the same system that he was running. Multi-fight deals where you get to control what the fighter does and who he fights, all of that. It's the same contracts. It ain't changed. It ain't changed. These are the same deals it's the same relationship that Bob Arum has with Terrence Crawford. I know he might imply I was talking way back in the 90s. Dog, I'm 50 years old. Okay? I've been doing contracts since the early 90s. They're the same. I just read them. I've read them. I've read ones that are in place right now. That's what they are. Still what they are. Okay? They can sue somebody for talking to Canelo. You talk to Canelo, tortious interference. I'm going to sue you for tortious interference with my contractual relationship. You know I have a contractual relationship with him, and you're talking to him and inciting him to do XYZ. If you can't talk, if another promoter can't talk to your boxer without fear of being sued for tortious interference with your contractual arrangements, dude, you own that fighter. That's like saying you cannot talk to my child. You can't walk into my house and talk to my child. If you're an independent contractor, you can talk to anybody. Other promoters are still getting sued for tortious interference. Right? Well, you don't know what tortious interference means, but they're still getting sued for tortious interference. For a contractual relationship, right? And that's not even when a fight's going on. A guy, Tank, for example, who was signed to one with Floyd for all, let's all be right about it. It's not just any one particular promoter that has those type of agreements. Promoters protect their interests because they want to make multiple fights with fighters. But Dillian White has a fight-by-fight basis, deal on a fight-by-fight basis. So what was he able to do? He was able to come over to the United States and talk to Al Heyman and say, look, man, if I want to make my next fight, I can make it with you. And he's been knocked out before. So it doesn't just apply to undefeated fighters. But you knew. No, Don King is not the biggest crook in boxing. Not remotely. Oh, by his way, that Freemason stuff, so is Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn be saying in them videos when he started talking about the fish, he was talking about what? Like a fish and a reel. I was like, really, man? Can you please stop the Masonic talk? Okay. I know what it is. All right. So spare me your fish and rod story, dog. Okay. He's a hilarious dude. Eddie Hearn too. Eddie Hearn says that shit all the time. But if you know about it, you'll hear it. It'll be like, oh, this dude thinks people are stupid. Sugar Fantastic, you out. That's what's up. Appreciate you. Anyway, man, you know how it go. I got to get out of here. I'm going to respect these other cats' chats, man. Let me get out of here. I'm sure other cats probably went live on me already. Already went live. Hey, much love and respect to everybody in the chat. And with that, let me check this super chat, make sure I ain't missed nothing. I did not miss anything. Hold on, maybe I did. Oh, Adewale M, Sean Snowden, Blur. Okay, cool. I got everybody. All right, y'all. Check out KQKC next. Sorry, I ran over a little later than I want to, but we start talking about this shit. I'm loving it. You as well, Kane the Bad Guy. And with that, I'm out. Peace.